What do we do differently at True and Safer Fostering? Safer Fostering is our not-for-profit agency in Wales, and True Fostering is our not-for-profit agency in England. I think the most important thing that I can say to you is that everybody who works with us, for us, is properly trauma informed. They've been trained in a way not just to understand the theory around developmental trauma and the impact upon foster parents of caring for such children and the damage caused by the system at times, but they're also able to be trauma aware and have that understanding in day-to-day interactions with the children and the families of what's happening and how the child's early life trauma is constantly playing out today. There are a number of things that we do differently. The first thing is that we have the therapeutic fostering assessment written by Sarah Naish and Sarah Penner, and the therapeutic fostering assessment properly equips people to foster. You know, we're not just looking for, have you had 7 children of your own and they've all gone to university and they're perfect? No, we want to know, what's your resilience like? Who are your real supporters? What do you really understand about trauma? And as part of that assessment, you will be given the right training to a level 2 diploma in therapeutic parenting. And also you'll have people come alongside you who really get it. So by the time you have either transferred to us or had a child placed with you, or even been, you know, a newly assessed foster parent, you're already going to be equipped with enough knowledge to get you going and to keep you going with the right support around you. And when we talk about support, what is the right support for a foster parent? I mean, my opinion is, it is about knowing that there are people there at the end of the phone who truly get it, who aren't just going to give you lip service and tell you that you're doing a great job, or minimise the situation, or indeed blame you for it. But people who are able to say, let's figure out what's really happening here. Let's think about what the child is really communicating. Let's think about the support that you might need. Do you need a short break? Do you need for your child to have a sleepover so that you can have a rest? Is that the right thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. We have child support workers who are trained very well in working therapeutically with the children, and sometimes they've got the best relationship with the child in anyone in the agency, of course, other than their foster parents. We have our trauma-informed supervising social workers who attend all of our groups and all of our training and are trained to a level 4 trauma-informed practitioner level. Then there's myself. I'm the head of therapeutic services across both of those agencies. So I look after the therapeutic team. We offer regular consultations to foster parents, even emergency consultations. We do not like firefighting. So whenever there's a spark, we get a team around the family meeting and we figure out, what do they need? Sometimes they just need to be heard. Foster parents just need to be heard and to be believed and to be valued and to be seen as co-professionals. You know, when I say that we have 98% stability, I mean it. Could even be higher than that, really. Our children do not move because people don't know what to do. Sorry, our children move because often local authorities who don't understand trauma or don't understand the way we work make a decision to move the child. So we like to work really professionally with the local authorities to help them to understand why we work in the way that we do. We want all of us to be on the same page, and we have a great relationship with the people that we work with because they can see the difference it makes. Some of the children we care for are children who have been bounced around the system, like I say, like a second-hand fridge, you know, and they've never had stability, they've never had routine, they've never felt that they belong, they've never felt that they're wanted, that they are important, or that they're making a difference in somebody's life they've never been delighted in. And our children need that. And we can help foster parents to give that to our children. We give foster parents permission to love their children. And we know there's a cost, and we know there's a risk, and we understand that sometimes ridiculous decisions are made that are outside of our control. But we do advocate for our foster parents, and we do challenge wrong decisions. But we do that in a professional way. And we invite our local authorities to all of our training. Certainly all the training I deliver, that everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome, as long as there's somebody involved in one of our children's lives in a supporting capacity. And we will meet with you in your school, the child's school, and help the school to understand the child's behaviour, to figure out a way forward. And we use a number of tools. One of the tools that we use, which is from our book, Therapeutic Parenting, Essential Companion for Professionals, is the Trauma Tracker, which was my brainchild, where we're looking at all the history of the child that we can gather, including what we call traumaversaries, so anniversaries of traumatic events in the child's life. And that information is written up into a document which was wonderfully written and devised by Jane Mitchell, my colleague, who also works alongside me as our head of family stability across both agencies. And Jane has written the Trauma Tracker, and that document is written for every child who is placed within our agencies, so that we can help our foster families to understand this is what the child has been through, this is their history, this is the past, this is everything we can glean from the child's behaviour and from documents that we've been able to gather from the local authority and information from other people. And we can then say to our foster parents, these are the behaviours you're likely to see, these are the traumaversaries, these are dates when things might be really tricky. And it's a live document, so we add to it. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, the child is particularly struggling, maybe around, Easter. We're going to look at the Trauma Tracker and say, did something happen at Easter? Was there something at Easter that we need to know about? And if there isn't, maybe we're just going to put in the Trauma Tracker, Easter seems to be a really tricky time for this child. We think something might have happened. And I mention Easter because the first day I came into foster care was actually Easter Sunday. I didn't know that until I read my very sparse records from my history in the care system. And even now, I still struggle with Easter. So clearly it's still a traumaversary. So our foster parents are very well equipped to understand, manage and respond to trauma-related behaviours. And the other thing that we have are monthly therapeutic parenting professional development groups. In Safer Fostering, it's online because we cover the whole of Wales, and in England, myself, Sarah Naish and Jane Mitchell, we physically go to different groups around the country and speak to our foster parents about how they are and maybe what they're struggling with, celebrate successes. And we always have a theme. There's always something we're going to explore this month to increase and develop their understanding. And our children stay. And so very many of our children are teenagers or about to hit 18 soon. And also we are victims of our success, really, because many of our children have been adopted or have been taken out under a special guardianship order because they don't leave. And one of the things that I want more than anything in the world, the thing that drives me, the thing that gets me out of bed every single day, the thing that even when people complain about what I say, or I've got another person who doesn't like what I've said or doesn't like me, for example, and we all have those days where we think this is a hard slog, the system just feels like an uphill process all the time. And what drives me is the need for children in care to have stability, for children in care to not keep being moved, for children in care to have permission to have more than one family. Because one of the greatest gifts I ever had from being in care was having two families. Thanks.